To say that digital technology has helped with containing the ongoing pandemic is probably an understatement. China said it will only expand its digital sector. We heard from the Chinese leader, from the 7th World Internet Conference, from the G20 Leaders Summit, and from the APEC Summit. What are the opportunities and challenges of the digital economy during the COVID-19 pandemic? Joining me for discussion are CEO and founder of China Thinkers Bureau, Dawei, and David Blair, Vice President at the Center for China and Globalization. Mr. Li, let me go to you first. China's digital economy is a 36 trillion yuan or $5.5 trillion US business in 2019. That is 36% of the country's GDP. I mean, help us put these numbers in perspective.
Well, good to see you again, Guan. Yeah, you make a really good point that digital economy accounts at least 1/3 of our nation's GDP. This means a lot. I mean, really a lot. I read a lot of history books, economic books, that China, as a nation, first time in the history, would be able to the front runner at world stage to be a real #1 leader at world stage. So digital economy is a driving force for our nation's renaissance and the China dreams as well. This is #1. Number two is we are a huge traditional economy compared with any other nations. But our traditional economy needs to be transformed itself to be a nicer, cleaner economy. So digital economy is a catalyst for our transformation to increase the total production factor and also enhance, improve the betterment of dual circulation, the new phrase, the dual circulation. In addition to that, we both know that China is an unevenly developed nation. So some very remote places, provinces, villages is not able to access the best technology and the development of the metropolitan cities. But the digital economy provide channels and approaches for them to become a civilized and well-educated, well-off the citizens. So digital economy is really important for our nation's future.
Right. David, you studied China. You lived in China for quite a while. How has the digital economy of China transformed the Chinese economy and its society, in your opinion?
Well, the digital economy is a big term, but there are three things that are almost unique to China. The first is that the digital technology to transform and update manufacturing is very important because China will remain a key workshop of the world. Applied to factories, digital technology has the potential to upgrade production. It can reduce pollution. It can raise living standards. Fortunately, many Chinese factories are already facing worker shortages, so I don't think we're going to see the digital transformation causing mass unemployment. I visited a Sinow warehouse in Jiangsu province that implemented advanced technology and cut its workforce in half. But they had to do that to fulfill orders and to improve safety, but also because workers were scarce and weren't available. The second thing is that China's tech sector is very highly competitive. This is very unusual in the world. So the tech sector has created value, but that value has gone to consumers and workers, not a few equity holders like we've seen elsewhere. For instance, in China you have an online sales market where Alibaba and Jingdong and Pinduoduo and ByteDance and many others compete. There's not that level of competition anywhere else in the world. For instance, Amazon in the U.S. acts as a monopolist and is killing lots of small businesses. But it tried to enter this market and lost because it couldn't face the competition. And the final point is that rural e-commerce, Taobao villages and other companies are enabling people to build businesses in small cities and rural areas and get rich, become very prosperous. I've been to some Taobao villages where most people make a living from e-commerce, and it's amazing. It's really important. This is not only transforming the economy, but it's transforming the society and the culture. Here, the digital economy is really helping working class people, and that's not true in much of the world.
Yeah, yeah, indeed. I was in a village in Kashgar, Xinjiang, in western China, earlier this year, and I met a fruit farmer over there, and he really couldn't keep up with his orders because there's so many of them coming from online and through his mobile phone, and is selling actually to customers all over this country. Now, let's talk about structural reform, one of the stated goals of the Chinese leaders. That is their hope for the country's economy going forward. Now, Mr. Li, this March, China launched a new infrastructure campaign, introducing policies to encourage investments in sectors such as 5G, industrial internet, data centers, and so on. How do you see the digital economy deepening supply-side reforms and, really helping China achieve its stated goals of transforming its growth models?
Sure, Wang Guan. See, the essence of the beauty of the supply-side economy is to have better and more supply options. So the digital economy equipped with the 5G, cloud, big data, 5G bandwidth, and new hardwares, etc., provide not only new product, but also, like the doctor mentioned earlier, new way of living and then new business modules and new approaches to all the advanced technologies. So the new infrastructure is not only a have to, but also a must for our next stage of development. So everybody, 1.5 billion people will be benefited from this very beautiful policy early this year.
Right. I want to shift gears a little bit and talk about another aspect of our economy, that is the digital currency. David, China's central bank will repeat its 1.5 million red envelope initiative, the central bank digital currency program in Suzhou, following the success run in Shenzhen. Why does the Chinese government want to push for a cashless society? I mean, what are the benefits and perhaps the downsides as well?
Well, I think they're experimenting. They really haven't decided to push for this, I don't think. I think this is still an experiment. And it's very far from clear to me that the benefits of the digital currency outweigh the risks. The benefits are kind of vague, but the risks are very clear and very large. Perhaps blockchain technology can offer some benefits in cross-border trade and logistics, etc. But currencies are an essential part of the economy, but that makes them extremely dangerous. If they get out of control, they can destroy economies and entire countries. The financial regulators need to ensure that any currency issuer is regulated at least as strongly as the banking system. Cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin are highly dangerous, and they're only valuable now because the U.S. Federal Reserve has created so much loose money in the last 20 years, and that money's got to go somewhere, so it's put into risky assets like cryptocurrency. And they're largely used for tax evasion or other illegal activities. But even a new payments technology creates risks. It could create excessive money supply or raise the velocity of money, the number of times that each yen turns over in a year. I think the authorities need to be very cautious and very tough about regulating these new types of financial technologies.
Mm-hmm. Right. Mr. Li, earlier on we were talking about, China's plans to help its neighbors. China's leaders actually said multiple times that China is ready to work with other countries to build a shared cyber community and to advance digital connectivity through its digital Silk Road. What is your understanding of, China's stated goals of building digital connectivity and the digital Silk Road?
Yeah. Guan, we both know that our nation, our Chinese people are really nice nation. So in the past, 70 years, at the inception of our republic, we have been offering our helping hands, warm heart to our neighbor brotherhood countries. So in the age of digital connectivity, we are able to provide a better service, product, digital infrastructures to the neighboring nations. So you know the term, you do not have to reinvent the wheel twice. So as long as China has the best technology and has best digital infrastructures and a huge army of well-trained technicians, scientists, and entrepreneurs like me, we can provide very good quality service product at a minimum cost and without any requirement for any other feedbacks in addition, apart from the cash. So why not any other countries couldn't accept our companies? So as a good nation, as good people, we should continue our warm activities.
But why do you think countries, especially those in the West, have so many concerns and criticisms towards China's initiatives?
I never heard of those kind of criticisms. I heard only the good people are praised and welcome our activities. But I understand. So we are at the early stage of a global digital economy, a global regulation, global protocols, even international organizations like the RCP or TDCP need to be established to manage, to regulate the bilateral, multilateral international activities like the digital Silk Road. I think our government, our company would welcome those kind of regulations.
David, how do you look at the promises and the future of the digital Silk Road? Of course, there are criticisms about it, but an increasing number of Western scholars that I've talked to realize that BRI and the digital Silk Road will be here to stay. What do you think?
Well, in any massive infrastructure investment program of any kind, there's going to be some misinvestment in some ways. But I think on the whole, BRI, both transportation, BRI both in transportation and in energy and in digital infrastructure is very much needed, and it's on the whole highly productive. I've been to African countries, Uganda, Ethiopia, where they're just being provided roads, railroads, access to ports. Most people don't have electricity, and Chinese investment there is making electricity available to them. And I think China's the only country that would do this. So I think that's a good thing. On the other end of the scale, Chinese competition is really needed. I mean, the tech market is dominated by a few monopolists, Facebook and Google and Amazon. And competition from ByteDance or Tencent or Alibaba is really needed in the world. I'd like to see that spread, and I'd like to see other countries develop their own indigenous tech giants.
Mr. Li, let's talk about cybersecurity because it is a real concern for many. The digital economy has created new risks, including cybersecurity breaches, facilitating illegal economic activities, and challenging the concepts of privacy. So with the rapid growth of the digital economy, people are naturally worried about their privacy. How can those concerns be addressed?
My understanding is, firstly, at the first stage, we need a globally understanding and regulation systems. So at least across the Pacific, you see, my privacy, my photos need to be respected and well protected, not only on the WeChat platform, but also Instagram and Facebook. So global cooperation is important. Secondly, I believe national level. So we are, as I mentioned, China is at the early stage of digital economy. So our improved, upgraded law and regulation is required. And thirdly, I believe at the level of business companies, enterprises, so the huge tech giants like Alibaba and Tencent need to be self-aware and being responsible, taking responsibilities. And the last one should be the societal consensus. Everyone should be more aware about the privacy and protect not only yourself but others.
Right. Yeah. Mr. Li, thank you so much for your insight. Thank you, David. Good to have you with us. And that will do it for this edition of The Point. Thank you for watching. I'm Wang Guan in Beijing.